Despite my laptop crashing mid-interview, I got an offer from Cambridge. So today I'm going to give you some advice for how to do well in your interviews. Episode 1 is going to be on the personal statement. So depending on if you are a NatSci, PBS, humanities or medicine applicant, the likelihood of you being asked interview questions on your personal statement does vary. But since you cannot predict the interview questions, you should be prepared just in case. So how are you going to do that? My first advice would be act like you are a celebrity interviewer. So why should you do that? You usually see, especially celebrity interviewers, being kind of very skeptical of who the celebrity portrays themselves to be, and they try to poke holes into, that image and just try to ask questions that are kind of difficult to answer sometimes. I'm not saying that the admissions officers are going to act like that, but the job of the admissions officer kind of is to see how the person in the personal statement aligns with who the interviewee is, and to see if they are a good fit for the course they are applying for. So it's a little bit reminiscent of someone seeing someone else wear a Nirvana shirt and then asking them to name like 3 songs to see if they're a real fan or if they are just a poser. But instead of Nirvana songs, they will probably ask you about the books that you have mentioned in your personal statement. And instead of talking about the chapter that you have written about, they are more than likely to talk to you about another chapter to see if you have, read the book in full, or if you have just picked out the excerpt that you needed only to mention it in your personal statement and you haven't really dealt with it in depth, Which leads us to the second advice, which is zoom out. So any source you have mentioned in your personal statement, you should be very well acquainted with, like any book that you have mentioned, any, scientific paper. You should also, it would be good to read a bit more around it, who's the author, what is his background, what relevance does this piece of literature, whatever it is, have for the field that you're trying to enter? Did it kind of change the landscape of the field? Also, for each sentence in your personal statement, be able to zoom out of it and talk about it a bit more in detail. One sentence that I, for instance, wrote in my personal statement was, in neuroscience, I noticed disability is closely linked to visibility. Now, what the interviewers could ask is, you have already mentioned one such example in your personal statement. Is there another one that you can think of? Just to see if you have, thought about what you are writing a bit more